Hi, Joel.
There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's inside you. All that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. When we unite. When we unite. Yeah, yeah. We unite. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
Good morning. You want to stand and sing a little bit? Come on.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God.
Let's keep going.
All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy.
in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is one, holy, holy. All God, holy, holy. All God, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is God, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy.
Yes. Good morning, Unity Church of Overland Park. Do we know that all is good, all is holy? Yes, amen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Reverend Eileen?
I'm doing really good, Reverend Jackie.
Have you come down?
A little bit, not quite all the way.
Shall we share what you were up
Sure.
with?
Go ahead.
Okay, so Friday night, we, with my wife Tammy, got to go to see Winona Judd.
We did.
Oh,
she
man.
blew the roof off
Martina
of T-Mobile.
McBride, Kelsey Ballerini.
Oh my God.
It was amazing.
She's been in my life for almost 40 years, and it was good to see her doing so well. And again, just crazy, crazy good.
It was crazy good. It was a holy, holy experience. It was
It
an
was.
all good kind of experience. So, yeah.
3.5-hour concerts had better be good if they're going to last for 3.5 hours. So it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. So always great to be in the presence of greatness, and also Winona Judd.
That's
See what I did there?
Yeah, I saw what you did there,
See
yes.
what I did there. I'm Reverend Jackie Fernandez, and it is my great joy to be with you this morning, all of you in the room, and those of you who are tuning in online now or into the future. What we are going to talk about today is that there is no time and space. The time-space continuum is all in our minds, so if you're watching in the future, we draw you in now. We know that we are together in this moment. And we are grateful for the truth that speaks that into our hearts and minds and our understanding. Here at Unity Church of Overland Park, we honor the divinity in each and every one. We honor all paths to God, all paths that lead to love and light and peace. So we center in now. In the presence of all that is holy, on holy ground, made so by the presence of each of us, for we are the presence of God, universe, holiness, whatever name you give it, we are it. So we give thanks for this day, for this is the day that God as us has made. We rejoice, we are glad in it. We make ourselves available to all good, all good. We make ourselves available to a deeper, more expansive knowing and understanding of what it means to be the presence of all good, all good. And we extend the presence of love in us, as us, through us, into the world, into each and every nook and cranny. That presence of love that is illuminating, that is healing, that is all-knowing. And we offer ourselves and our consciousness, our awareness as a healing salve into the world. And in this way, we unite as a beacon of light, a presence of love in action. And we say, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Whose presence is always here. We need to realize that we are that presence. We are the mountain. We are that love. So together, let's affirm there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God is the source of all good. And so it is, as we sing, blessed always. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. One more time. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning.
and thank you. Thank you, Reverend Fred, James, Terry, and Joel. Thank you. And Stacy, and Reverend Eileen, and Reverend Jackie. Reverend Jackie's lesson today is prayer. Make me a promise.
All right, and we also have a few announcements. So good morning, everybody. So glad that you're with us today, and so glad you're with us online too. Our Yarn Blessings group is meeting today in the cafe from 2 to 3 p.m. And so if you've been part of that Yarn Blessings group, we just invite you to hang out and come back and learn how to crochet. I think Angela has a really cool Valentine's crochet project that she's going to teach people how to do. The other thing is that group is growing. And so they have expanded some of what they're doing, and they're now including a Zoom link. So if anybody is interested in learning how to be part of that Yarn Blessings group, but you'd rather do that from the comfort of your home, or you don't even live in Kansas City and you want to do it just from wherever you live, then look online and on our website for the link. If you sign up, then you will get a link to the Zoom meeting. And there also will be an opportunity for an ASL interpreter. So everybody is welcome. It's a very inclusive, and if you feel like you want to learn how to work with yarn and crochet, then you have the opportunity to join that group. So we hope that you do that.
Okay. And if you are interested in becoming a member of UCOP, the next membership orientation will be offered in 2 parts, beginning this coming Thursday, February 9th, with session number 2 offered on February 16th. And the sessions will be held via Zoom from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., and they're open to both our in-person and online congregations. There's a sign-up sheet on the back of the table, as well as online on our website. And this is a wonderful opportunity to get to know others who are considering membership, learning more about Unity history, meeting some of the UCOP leadership, and also learning about ways you can become more involved with the ministry.
And lastly, please mark your calendars for Wednesday, February 22nd. This is Ash Wednesday. We're going to be bringing back the High Vibe sound healing, the sound bath service that was so well received last year. So you are invited to bring your yoga mat, blanket, pillow, anything that will help you be comfortable on the floor or in a chair. Also, we will have an ASL interpreter with us and also helium balloons. And I had to educate myself why helium balloons, and that is so people who can't hear the sound bath through their ears can feel the sound bath through the vibrations in the helium balloon. The service will begin at 7 p.m. And so join us and share an invitation with anyone who you think would like to kick off this Lenten season with this amazing sound bath.
Wow. And with the Lenten season just around the corner, we're in the process of organizing our small groups. These groups meet during the week to take the Sunday lessons and additional curriculum into deeper discussion. This year's Lenten series will be centered on absolute abundance. There are various sign-up sheets, and there's one in the cafe if you'd like to sign up and join a group. And we'll also have those sign-ups available online this coming week.
Okay, so together, can we say our joint vision statement? A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
Pray for me when my heart is sinking fast and holding on to what I thought would last. Oh, lift me up when I can't let go. I'm wrapped in love when you pray for me. Pray for me when things turn upside down and all seems lost with no light to be found. Oh, lift me up and I will find a greater peace as you pray for me. Pray for me, and I will make it through. And from this place, I can see what is true. There is a blessing in every breath, and a love that's real beyond the veil of death. Oh, pray for me. Oh, pray for me. I'll pray for you, and you pray for me. I'll pray for you, and you pray for me.
Thank you, Joel. Beautiful, beautiful song. I was in tears last night listening to that song. Always glad when I listen to the music ahead of time so I can do the work of release that needs to be done, so I can stand before you and speak words that you can understand and aren't just a blubbering mess. And I knew that Joel would bring his entire heart to that song. What I want you to know about the music today, every single song that is included in this service is written by a Black composer. And so we are doing that to honor Black History Month. Yes, let's go. We have a rich history and presence of Black leadership in both Unity and the New Thought movement as a whole, and so it's a joy to be able to take some time to honor that presence. So I just want you to be aware of that as we enjoy that music. Danny Cox was going to be our guest soloist today, and we're celebrating, even though we're sad he's not here, we're celebrating that he's not here because he got a new kidney. Yes, yes. And it went very well, and he is healing well, and so we expect him to be back in our presence very soon. So, make me a promise. We're continuing our prayer series, and Make Me a Promise is about that habit that we develop, that is imparted upon us, often at a very young age in a largely Christian nation, when we're taught how to pray, which is to negotiate with God, right? Don't we do that? Even in our spiritually mature adulthood, don't we often really experience prayer as a plea, a beseeching, a negotiation, a seeking of a promise of a desire fulfilled with the great God? Almost as if we are characters in Wizard of Oz, petitioning the great and powerful Oz for courage, for love, for a way home, for a brain. So I want to talk about that. Now, if you have been in New Thought and Unity for a long time, maybe you have divulged yourself of this habit. Maybe you have become so steeped and practiced in affirmative prayer that this is not actually an experience for you anymore. I am not there, and I've done a lot of praying, and I find myself still, when I begin to form an affirmation that I want to work with or a mantra that I want to work with, I still can catch myself with a wish list. The purpose and function of an affirmation is to anchor in a truth, not to affirm what we hope to be true. That is vision casting, which can be useful and fruitful, or simply wishful thinking, or simply unachievable, or even, at worst, none of our business. Right? If we're making an affirmation for someone else to be a certain way, and I'm just going to affirm that this is how this person is going to show up, we have let go of the true power of prayer, the true power available to us in a prayer experience. So we are to anchor ourselves in what is already true. Capital T true, not time out. Capital T true. According to the laws, the spiritual laws of the universe, according to the divine presence, according to that which is true, regardless of whether or not we acknowledge it. And we are to bring that into our awareness and to our knowing, and that is the power of prayer. Last week I asked you, will you be moved? That is the movement. Is that we will be moved out of an error thought, out of a misbelief, a mistaken belief, into the knowing of true, what is already true, not true because we make it so, true because it is so, and we allow it to be present in us, as us, through us. Are you with me? So I've shared with you, and if your first time here today, I see some of you, but I've shared with many of you the passing of my grandmother. I received a lot of prayer support through that experience last April. And then I shared with you not too long ago some of the shame that I've been working through about not being there for her when she passed, not getting, my flight got canceled and she died that night. And I realized even months later that I've been working with and feeling with a lot of shame about that. Had I gone earlier? Had I made that reservation sooner? And so I want to offer that again as an example of how to do this prayer work. So we're going to put a pin in that because I'm going to come back to it a little bit. And I want to share with you not a method of prayer, but a method of growing spiritually, emotionally, through the activity of prayer, okay? So we tend to go through something, right? We go through a terrible experience. We go through a crisis. We go through another, another growth opportunity. There's a version of that has an F in there, and you can figure out what that stands for. Another A-F-O-G, another G-O, growth opportunity. Okay, so you fill in that blank, and I hear some laughter, so you probably know and feel the sentiment that is behind that. We go through it. And we even say to each other, I'm really going through it. So I'm going to invite us to grow through it. Okay, so that we grow through our experiences. We don't just go through them. So I don't subscribe to this idea that is out there. And if you subscribe to it, I'm not going to fight with you about it. You keep your subscription. I have canceled mine. And I'm not better than you for that, just different. But I'm going to invite you to consider. I have canceled my subscription to the idea that things happen to us to teach us a lesson. I have canceled that subscription. When I grow through an experience, I may take a lesson from it. I may take a growth experience. I may take a self-evolution, a self-revolution even. But the thing didn't happen to teach me something. That subscription, that line of thinking is just another negotiation. Because behind that is the idea that if I get enough lessons, I will then be somehow worthy of not having any more problems. Somehow worthy of being stamped super spiritual, enlightened, awake. It's just another negotiation. And we even go through, well, I keep coming to the same problem because I keep making the same mistake, because I keep drawing and attracting this travesty into my life. It's another negotiation. It's another way to build and pack shame around ourselves to affirm this belief that we are somehow unworthy. And it is preventing us from actually having a true prayer, power-filled experience in which we are actually able to take a lesson if we choose and grow through it and with it. But we get the choice. Sometimes things just happen. We live in a world where not one of us has absolute control over any other one of us. People have sovereignty to make their own decisions, to engage the worst of atrocities. We don't control that. And it doesn't happen because we somehow should have been able to strike a better bargain with God, or it's happening to us so that we can learn our lesson to be a better person. No, thank you. We can take what has happened, I'll say it again, and choose to grow from it, choose to take a lesson from it, choose to refine, because it is true that we do attract people and situations in our lives that meet our pain points, that meet our growth points. Yes, that is true. And so we may find ourselves in a sort of repetition of a certain kind of relationship, a certain kind of scenario, a certain kind of something. That is true, but that's not because you are actively calling it in. Come on, were you? Were you actively calling it in? And so it's a very fine line of metaphysical malpractice, we call it. Metaphysical malpractice. Of using what's true and perverting it just a little bit to blame you and to say, see, you're just not doing it right. So it may be that you haven't grown the skills or the awareness so that something does continue to present itself to you, and you can choose when you've had enough. You can choose to acquire the skills, to acquire the awareness, to stop that scenario and that situation. And when you do, it dissolves and it tends to go away. Or when it comes to you, you aren't triggered in the same way, or you respond in a different way instead of reacting. Okay, so this is what's available to us in prayer. So we're gonna grow through it. So give us the slide, Joan. We're gonna grow through it. GROW is an acronym. All right, I made this up, take it or leave it. G, get still. We're gonna get still. Go to the, next slide. For grow, first we're gonna get still, because what happens when we find ourselves in a crisis or in an uncomfortable, undesirable, unwanted circumstance? The monkey mind, the ego mind starts to go. It has so many worn grooves, doesn't it? Of tapes, records, whatever you want to call it, of the languaging, the messaging that it gives us. Refined probably from infancy, probably from before you even realized you were forming these kinds of thoughts of who you are and why you always screw it up and why no one is ever going to love you enough and why this, right? And it's simply a device of your ego to search for survival. So if the ego can figure out what is bringing this pain into your life, it can get you out of it, is what it thinks. So the ego is not our enemy. The ego mind is devised for survival, and we need it. But we got to work with it and not fight it. So we got to get still. So we can just let it and fizzle out. Just let those thoughts just fizzle out. Get still in the body, in the mind, in the spirit. Then we go to R, which is release, error thought. So you begin to identify. Just allow the awareness. What are these thoughts coming through and in that are not true? Probably most of them. Probably most of them are just simply not true. They're based in fear, they're based in shame, they're based in doubt and in hopelessness, so we just let them go. We don't fight them, because if we fight, we engage, they stay, because we have gripped them, right? So we just let them go. We release them. We get still, we release. O, we own our power. We remember who and whose we are. The divine is choosing to express itself in and through you, to express as you. Own your power to be moved, to grow, to understand, to gain awareness. Own your power. You are no victim of life's circumstance. Things may have happened to you. That does not make you a victim. You own your power. W, my favorite. Welcome, wonder, and wisdom. Welcome, wonder, and wisdom. The power of curiosity, of simply wondering, asking the question, what else might be true here? What might be available to me, through me, in this circumstance? I wonder what other outcome there could be if I am so convinced that this thing is going to fail, that this conversation is just going to go like it always does, that this person is just going to treat me the way they always do, that I will not receive that promotion because I never do. We are so convinced of these negative outcomes, we open to wonder and to possibility of a different outcome. What happens if it all goes right? What happens if I have everything I need in this moment to take the next step? What happens if I am truly loved beyond what I've been willing to acknowledge? wonder, and wisdom. We allow wisdom to come in and guide those thoughts so that we aren't just resolving ourselves to that ego mind, to that monkey mind. We allow wisdom to come in and help us. And in our curiosity of what could be different, we allow wisdom to choose a direction. So this isn't a method of prayer, of how to pray, but this is a method to bring into our prayer space. And we allow prayer to do the work of transformation, transmutation, if you will. So what it looks like for me and my grandmother is I allow myself to grow through this experience that I lived through. So time plays no part. I warned you we're going to talk about time. So fasten your seatbelts, lest you go back in time or forward in time from this moment. So there was a study. Leonard Libovici. I'm not sure that that's how it's pronounced. Forgive me, Len, if that's not right. He was a scientist, is a scientist, mathematician, very steeped in math, building mathematical models, trusts math above all else. And so he created this study to measure the power of prayer. So he got two groups of people who were in the hospital experiencing sepsis. One group would be prayed for, the other group, unfortunately, would not. And he was able to create such blind and double blindness, as it's called in the world of research about this, that nobody knew, not the medical team, not the patients knew which group they were in. They didn't even know that there was a study happening, okay? So he's got two groups of people. He gives a list of names of one group to an individual and asks them to pray over them daily. I think it was for 40 days, don't quote me on that, for a period of time, praying for their well-being and for their healing. So Leonard was interested in three outcomes: incidence and rate of death, how long they were staying in the hospital, and how severe the fever was. So the rate of death was lower in those who were being prayed over, but not at a statistically significant level, but it was lower. But what was significant statistically was that the length, the duration of the hospital stay, and the depth of the fever, the high fever, was lower in the people who were being prayed for than in those who were not, at a statistically significant level. Now, here's the thing. This is the twist. The people were in the hospital from 1990 to 1996. The study was conducted in 2000. Yeah. What? All of a sudden, it's a whole new deal. So that's why I was so certain that these people didn't know they were being prayed for, that there was even a study happening, because it was done up to 10 years later. So our friend Leonard did not intend to conduct a study that would prove the power of prayer. So he deeply regretted the findings. His intention was to show what a waste of time and resources it is for the medical scientific research community to include alternative medicine in their research. And instead, he conducted a study that proved and lit a fire under the alternative medicine community, because his study showed that now time isn't even a factor when it comes to prayer influencing outcome. Whoa. What does that mean for us today? Now, what are we talking about? Because this just went to a whole new level, did it not? So since then, in the nearly 23 years since then, there have been many, many, many studies. And you can go look it up, but here is the bottom line, These studies are showing at a statistical significance, and I'm going to tell you at what rate here in just a minute, they're showing that time is not a factor in producing outcome when it comes to prayer. You can pray it backwards and influence outcome. The statistical significance of these findings is 10 times greater than most pharmaceutical research studies. So, for example, aspirin. We all know you take aspirin to stop a heart attack. The statistical outcome, it's called a factor, is 10 times less in that study than in the study about prayer impacting outcome. Medical people, propanol. Okay, so it's what we take if you need to be suddenly put under for a surgery, for example. So it's a very fast-acting anesthetic. We trust it. People very much in the medical community rely on it. It is something that we know works, right? Anecdotally. 10 times less, the outcome of the study is 10 times, the factor is 10 times less than the studies that are showing that prayer impacts the outcome of results regardless of time. So it's not to diminish the power and import of our pharmaceutical studies, but it's to give place to the information that we have and what we work with. So we activate the outcomes of those research, right? We live by it. We know what pill we need for what ailment we have. But if you are learning that the outcome of the research about the power of prayer is 10 times greater, how much are you utilizing those results? How much are you living by the power available to us in those research studies? Own your power. Make yourself available to the power of prayer. And so, quantum physics, we're not going to go there very far, just a little bit, okay? Just a little dip a toe. Because quantum physics is what deals with the continuum of time, space, and how we, identify the God particle and our place in the whole cosmos and what's true, what's not, where, how small can we get, and even the idea that if we observe something, because we've observed it, we choose it, right? So if it was a particle or a wave, it becomes a particle or a wave according to how it is observed. Okay, so I'm just kind of throwing things out, hoping you can grab onto a few items. So if, for example, we think of someone who has created great pain in the world, you might begin to think, well, according to the information you just gave us, I can now pray that person away. And we know, because we've all watched plenty of science fiction movies, that if you go back and change the past, that it changes the future. So The Terminator is a great example of a film, and I know that goes way back, and maybe you remember it, maybe you don't, but it ignores this problem of if someone is not born, then a certain series of events will not happen, so the person who went back in time perhaps wouldn't actually have existed in order to go back in time. So it becomes this sort of weird loop, which is why we all kind of just put the whole idea down and watch the movie. I'm not going to go there because it's too hard and too confusing. But what quantum physics studies are showing now is that that's not the case. So if you go back, and let's not say the extreme of erasing a person, but if you go back and let's say are able to pray away the diagnosis of a disease. So in traditional thinking and understanding of time-space, you would say, well, you hear this a lot, I wouldn't change a thing because I wouldn't be who I am if I hadn't gone through everything I'd gone through, right? Or even grown through everything I grew through. But the studies are now showing us that it doesn't impact or change what happened forward from that point in time. So you can pick a point in time, impact and influence the experience of you or others, because friends, we are all one, and we were all started in the same energetic pool, and science shows that if you separate what was started in the same energetic pool, it can never actually be separated. Even if you put an atom on one side of the world and the other half of it, you split it and put the other half on the other side of the world, whatever this one experiences, this one does. Okay? This is science. It is also spirituality. Because what happens to one of us on this side of the planet impacts and is experienced by everyone else, regardless if you're on the other side of the planet or across the street. Not just people, but the planet itself. Wow. Now what are we talking about? My grandmother. I have a lot of shame, and I'll say had, a lot of shame packed around the fact that I missed the flight. Anger. You can guess the airline that canceled my flight. It had one job, to get me from here to there so that I could be with her. Now, I can do the monkey mind dance of, well, the hospital probably wouldn't let me in that night. She would have died and I would have been at her house. And how much more tragic would that be or not? I don't know. I can get into the monkey mind, or I can get still. I can release all of that error thought that there was anything that she or I needed in one more conversation. I can let that go. I can own my power, and I can welcome wonder and wisdom. So if I go back to that night or the day after, or that week, and understand with compassion who I was and what I was experiencing, I can unpack the shame beliefs that grew out of that experience. Because I know now that the truth is, I didn't need one more conversation, nor did she. I didn't need to be there before she died. Do you understand what's happening? And so now, it doesn't change the outcome. She still died. I'm still sad. I still feel the pain of loss. And I have a healing experience, and I rewrite that experience in my own psyche. So we can even go back to more traumatic experiences, and we can invite in, this is where we do the very woo-woo work of inviting angels, spirit guides, friends, literally anybody who is a symbol or avatar of love and light and peace and strength and wisdom to you. That's all it is. It's an avatar. So call it what you want. Angel, spirit guide, friend, whatever. And you can bring them into a past experience, and you can rewrite the story of I was all alone. I was unloved in that moment. I had no one there to help me. And it doesn't change reality of what happened and what was experienced, but what begins to be healed is the beliefs that got burned into your psyche that you would forever be alone and unloved and unworthy. Do you understand the power that is available to us in this practice? So what are we waiting for? Let's get to it. Let's get to the healing. Because as we do this work of healing our own soul, every single person in this room and every single person on this planet feels the shift, experiences the healing. So we don't have to get overwhelmed by what can I possibly do. And I said this to you, I think last week, or maybe 2 weeks before that, I don't know. We don't have to get overwhelmed at the monumental pain that is in the world and the smallness that we feel to impact it. We just simply do the work of healing ourselves, but keeping in mind the whole. Not just our wholeness, but the whole of the planet. So this is not a plea to navel gaze, which we get criticized for in Unity, that we just come into meditation, we're just involved with ourselves, and everyone else can just worry about their own problems. It's not what we do. We're doing it for and in the knowing that this work does save the world, that this work does heal the world. And this is, friends, the only way to do it. So you're ready to grow through your experiences. Can I get a yes? Yes. Amen. God is, I am.
So we just open up to this idea of expansion of who it is that we are, what it is we are aligned with, what might be possible. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am.
So we settle in for a time of meditation. I invite you to find yourself relaxed. If it's comfortable for you, to place your feet flat on the floor as a sign of grounding into Mother Earth. And perhaps sit just a little taller, raising the crown of your head, opening to the heavens of possibility. If you haven't already, I invite you to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And with an exhale, just release any tension you may be holding. God is, I am. God is, I am. This is the knowing from which all else grows. It is the knowing to which we return when we desire healing, when we desire understanding, empathy, compassion, peace, joy. For it is the root truth at a soul level. God is, I am. And any thought that you hold that conflicts with this statement is error. Even on your worst day, this is truth. God is, I am. There is nothing you can do to undo this truth. It is simply the state of your being. It is the nature and the essence of everything you are. So in this knowing, what might be your intention? not your wish, but your truth and your intention to work with truth. You are a unique, unrepeatable expression of the one holy presence in the universe. What will you do? How will you be? What will you think? Because you choose your thoughts. You choose your way of being. You choose your action. You're going to make a mistake. Guaranteed. God is, I am, the unshakable truth of you. Allow it to permeate every cell. It is already there. It's your awareness that you're bringing to it. In every cell of your body, in every fiber of your being, in whatever the stuff that is your soul. God is, I am. Now imagine your future self praying for you. Imagine the prayer of your future self changing even this moment for you. You are your guardian angel. What if you can wrap your arms around the you of 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years ago. And if that takes you into a previous life, so be it, because we're just making it all up. This understanding that we play at of time and space and life. God is, I am, is the truth back of it all. So we return, and we place our knowing squarely in the middle of it. And we wonder what might be possible in this knowing. As we reflect in the silence.
right now. God is. God is. I am right here, right now. Right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. God is, I am.
As we move into this time of blessing, I'd like to just continue the GROW acronym. So we take that intentional step of getting still. And we let go of any thought that may be floating through our minds that says that I don't have anything to offer, or that what I give just isn't enough and could never make a difference. And instead, go to the true source, that power of God's presence within us. That's the same within each of us, and yet each of us is an individual expression of that. And so what that means is that every minute of time that you give in prayer to this ministry, every gift or talent that you share, every penny of financial support you offer does indeed matter, does indeed come together and make a difference. And that's the wonder of Spirit. As we open to that presence and we invite its wisdom to continue making itself known in and through and as us, because we don't know all that we're being called to be as Unity Church of Overland Park, and therefore we have no idea how we're going to get there. But we can trust, and we can have faith, and we can share a blessing, affirming the truth of who we are and all that we want to be. And so would you join with me now in blessing all of the time of prayer, every talent that is given, every financial offering that is shared, with the words that are before you now. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am joy-filled and grateful.
Strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing in the fork of the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. myself. Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place, you are the place, we are the place where God shows up. I am the place, you are the place, we are the place where God shows up. We are the place where God shows up.
Joel.
Thank you, Joel Morrison, for being the place where God shows up as music today. Thank you, Fred Albers and the UCOP Trio. And a special thank you to all who have helped put on the service. This month, we are honoring and celebrating our audio-video team, who really carry the bulk of what it takes to stream our service, to make it in the room so that you can experience the lights and the sound and all the good stuff. So we honor you, we love you, and we appreciate the hard work you do each and every week. I want to invite you to mark your calendars for Unity Village Chapel has a day of sacred renewal. It is put on by the Sisters of Myrtle Fillmore, and I'm one of the featured speakers. So the event will be on Saturday, April 15th from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can also, if you have the inclination to be a vendor, they have this great vendor section at this retreat every year. So if you want to do that, you can register to be a vendor, or if you just want to attend as a person, tickets are $40, and we'll be including the links to register in our e-news beginning this coming Friday. So just mark your calendar for that. And, I just got to show you, if you haven't seen the new labyrinth at Unity Village, I mean to say. So every brick was hand laid twice, because they did a practice round, and then they did the real round, and the woman who worked on it with her husband was the main, he owns the company that does this, but she is an integral part of it, will also be one of the speakers at that retreat. So I just wanted you to see that image, and get out there if you haven't yet. Okay, so let's, before we welcome in our kids, let's speak our mission statements with the fullness of our hearts. Unity Church of Overland Park transforms lives and empowers people to make a difference in the world. Yes, yes, yes. Let's welcome in our children.
We are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
We had two kind of different tasks going on today. The first one is I actually gave them a challenge. Their challenge was to take this giant piece of paper and fill it full to the brim with affirmations. Here, let me hold it up for you a little bit. So yeah, they went through all the way around, and I mean, they had no problem doing it. So do you want to read some of them for them?
You are will. You are strong.
One more.
You are fun. You are nice.
Nice. Yeah. And then on top of that, Fiona will explain to you what this is.
This is Egbert. He's back in his lovely sparkly kingdom, and we have upgraded his kingdom and made it portable. And He's powered by the 12 powers.
That's what all these little gems are. So those were our 2 projects today. You guys can go ahead and stand and join us for the closing song.
All right, you ready to sing? I need some help. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I think we can be louder. Feeling good down in my soul, yeah, God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul, yeah, God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul, yeah, God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of trouble, God is so good. Yeah, in my time of trouble, God is so good. In my time of trouble, God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of triumph, God is so good. In my time of triumph, God is so good. In my time of triumph, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Well, when my day is over, God is so good. When my day is over, I'm singing, God is so good. When my time is over, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Watch out now. Every day, in every way, God is so good. Every day, in every way, God is so good. Oh, when I take the time to praise the Spirit, God is so good. My God is so good to me. One more time with that part. Here we go again. Every day, in every way, shout it out. God is so good. Every day, in every way, God is so good. When I take the time to praise the Spirit, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. Well, I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so, my God is so, my God is so good to me. Good job.
And now join me in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Go to the cafe and sign up for a small group and have a beautiful week, beloveds.